got Bob Kravitz here from The Athletic. If you're not a subscriber, you should be. Tons of great content covering Indiana and the Colts and the Pacers. A bunch of great programs right there that I just listed off that are all sucking at the same time, unfortunately.
We got Purdue. Does that make you feel any better?
No. I try to at all times remain unbiased and down the middle, but there are two programs that I just like, forget it. Kentucky is one of those because I just grew up. It was in my just growing up. It was already there, and I can't get it out. And Purdue, not as much as that, but it's more just because I went to IU and you learn it. You grew up here, but no, it doesn't.
Maybe it's because I didn't grow up here. But, I missed the class at IU, How to Hate Purdue 101. I missed that one. So I never quite got into the maybe as a student a little bit, you get caught up because everybody in your dorm floor hates Purdue. And so you hate Purdue. But, there's so many readers who think, I wrote a column the other day saying that, Purdue's Achilles heel is that defense and it might get them beat in the NCAA, and I'm getting comment after comment from insecure Purdue fan one after another, saying, they won the game and you ripped them. I'm like, shit, you're an IU grad. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
All right, I feel better now.
It's just funny how it goes that way. But man, what is going on in Indiana sports? But and Purdue does nothing to make, because the state, Indiana is still the state's team.
Of course.
And I know that pisses Purdue off, especially when they're playing like they are right now, because it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just not going to matter. But it drives, and I understand why Indiana fans are so crazy right now. Because it's looked like a flat line on an EKG.
Yeah.
It's exactly. I was like, what? And I've gone out of my way to be positive this season. I'm like, you know what? I had 2.5 years of just doing nothing but bashing Archie's head in every day, and it wasn't even fun. But there was nothing else to do because it was the truth, and every day it's like he just gave something else. But I was like, I was glad to be gone with that and done with that. I was so looking forward to not talking about the crap we're talking about today. And it's like, man, here we are.
I don't want to make myself sound smart because I'm usually wrong on stuff, but I really felt coming into this season, this was going to be it's mostly the same players. None of them can shoot. You got, Kopp and Stewart and Xavier, all coming from losing programs. What have they accomplished? I really felt like this is a team that was going to finish around 7th or 8th in the Big Ten and really struggle to score the ball. I mean, they're number one in the conference in defense, so at least they have something to hang their hat on. But that's not doing them any damn good right now because they're losing, and they don't get the one on Thursday night. I don't know how they make the tournament.
No, but losing that game at Ohio State the other night was almost it just put the season kind of in under a magnifying glass. Like, boom, there you go. You had opportunity after opportunity. You had a 4-point lead, and the ball, and it's like you do everything you can to lose the damn game. No, it's like it looked like no one was thinking at all. No one was saying, let's be smart. Let's do this. It was just like helter skelter. But I have to blame Woody for that. I mean, it's going on right in front of him. Damn it.
I don't know what their offense is. What is their offense? I mean, it seems to me that aside from dumping it down loaded to Trace, what is their offense? And part of the problem is you don't have a point guard you can trust. I never thought these words would come out of my mouth, but they kind of miss Finney. I mean, Finney had that
Well,
great
they don't
game.
kind of. They really miss him right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, Xavier can play like garbage. I mean, he hasn't. I mean, he's been okay, but Xavier can play like garbage. And I have all these people, tweeting me, sit him down, put him on the bench. For who? Who are you going to bring in? I mean, Leal? His mom would like to see him play, but I don't know about anybody else.
He's gotten, and that's the thing. I root for Anthony. He's a Bloomington kid, a great kid, works hard. He's had a couple opportunities here, and neither time, not only did he not come through, he missed a pair of kind of critical free throws at the end of the half against Ohio State. And it's like, dude, man, you're a shooter. You got to knock those down. I don't care that you're a freshman. Grow up. It's time to grow up. It's February. No one's a freshman anymore.
Right.
And I don't want to get on him or anybody else, but that's just, you've got to knock those shots down. You've got to not make those stupid ass mistakes they made in the last 2 possessions of the game.
That was, I mean, they lack competitive composure. When I say, it's not, they lack composure like, say, a Juwan Howard, but they lack competitive composure.
That's the best way I've heard it put.
In the moments that matter the most, they shrink in the moment, and that's a problem. That's a real problem, and it's not going to get any better here in the last couple of weeks. I don't know where they're going to find these victories. I really don't.
Well, I think that they can win. They have to do a couple things. Number one, they're going to have to get out in front of some teams and not be in close games, because I don't trust them in close games. They just self implode, and 2 of these teams that shouldn't be a problem. They should beat the crap out of Minnesota, and I know that game's on the road,
right?
But they should beat Maryland. They beat them at Maryland. Rutgers is at home.
Here's the thing: are 2 enough? Are 2 wins going to be enough?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't have thought so, and I happen to have heard Lenardi yesterday say he had them in as the last 4 in now.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, that changes things. He didn't seem to think that they had to win all 3 of these games.
Okay.
But if they don't, they definitely have to win a game in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
And this team has not performed well under pressure. You talk about competitive pressure at the end. They haven't performed well when going into something, there's been pressure like we need this game. We've got to do this. So it's going to be a coin toss.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, like you say, they've not historically done anything in the Big Ten. I just see this kind of unraveling the way so many Archie Miller seasons unraveled. It's just eerily familiar the way this is going down. And look, I mean, I put some of it on Mike Woodson, but at the same time, in reality, we got to give him a couple of years. I mean, nobody's calling for his head, obviously, but the early returns are not favorable.
He absolutely does not have it. I don't know if it's not necessarily the talent, but
he doesn't have the talent. He doesn't.
The IQ, but even some of these guys could probably get away with some of that if they just played smarter.
I agree. I agree with that.
And they just simply don't do that either. And when you have both of those, it's like, well, crap. What else can you expect? So yeah, he doesn't have a shooter on this team. He doesn't have a point guard you can trust. He doesn't have a backup point guard. He doesn't have a big man who will step out and hit a short range jump shot.
Right. They don't have a lot of options offensively, and
they don't have anything on the wings. They're getting nothing from the wings.
Nothing. And let me ask you this. This is a question I used to ask when Archie was here. Who's gotten better this year?
Oh, no, not a single. The entire team is flatlined. The entire team to me is flatlined. I mean, seriously. I mean, even you'd have to look at Tamar Bates, and he hasn't improved. The other ones is the ones that really Anthony Leo. Okay, it's his second season, but he had a season under these guys, or preseason. He got to be with this staff, and well, there's not a lot of difference. Trey Galloway has been very, very helpful, but I don't know how much better he is. He's just a smarter player.
He is.
But he's not a great shooter. He's not a great scorer, but I mean, he definitely is beneficial.
He's valuable. He's valuable. No question. But I just look at this team. I mean, the one thing everybody wants to give Crean crap, and I know I defend Tom, but you look at players in that system, and they improved, man. I mean, whether it was Oladipo or, I mean, you can name 4 or 5 guys who got significantly better during
OG
the Tom Crean era.
Anunoby.
Bingo.
No one knew who the hell he was when he found him on a recruiting trip.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at Juwan Morgan. Number 2. I don't know if Jordan Hulls is still playing professionally. I mean, Jordan worked his ass off.
Yeah.
But he still, there's a guy who played big time Division I basketball at wasn't the fastest guy in the world. He's not the tallest guy in the world. He'll tell you that. But he scrapped his ass off and knocked down those 3-pointers all damn day long.
Mm-hmm.
What was the dude that was, I think, from New York, that was always kind of wiry? Not Troy Williams, but
there's a guy who improved immensely
and made it to the league.
Yeah, I mean
as a matter of fact,
every
player that's in the NBA right now, Bob, that is from Indiana, minus Romeo, who was already projected to go to the league when he was coming out of high school.
Right.
But other than that, and Eric Gordon, everybody else is from Tom Crean.
Is a Crean guy. Yeah, I agree. And
he just couldn't coach defense.
Don't see the player development, and you would think with Dane and everybody else and the staff they've got, you would think that the guys would be getting better, but they're just not. And next year, look, I mean, the clock doesn't start running on Woody till year 3, as far as I'm concerned. Let's be realistic.
He's got some great guys coming in.
You got great guys coming in.
I mean, the talent that is coming, help is on the way, which that's great, except for they're all freshmen. Now, Jalen Hood-Schifino, he's kind of not a freshman because he's playing up a level basically at Montverde with the talent that he plays with and against all the time. And I've seen him. He would be playing now if he were here.
Okay.
Absolutely. He is calm. He's just great court vision. And they play at such a high tempo. It was, man, that was honestly, if I could have considered it a high school game, I saw them playing a championship tournament at their own place here a month or so ago. It would be the best high school game I've ever seen. Really? Without question. I mean, you've got 10 guys starting that were going to Division I schools.
Yeah. It's amazing. No, I mean, look, they on paper, you've seen some of these guys play. I have not seen Gunn or Cups or any of these guys, but they do have help on the way, but obviously it's not going to help them right now. And with 4 games left, what do you do?
Well, and then the next thing is, Bob, Trace Jackson-Davis is most likely gone.
He gone.
Not only do they have to hit the transfer portal to replace him, they have to hit a home run. They've got to get somebody who can step in and be the guy. Because they're going to be better in a lot of places, but they're not going to be there yet. They're going to have to get help on the wings. That's not going to change.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of faces not on that bench next year.
Yeah. All I know, Jim, is the the boosters who reached into their own pockets to buy out Archie Miller and pay,
Booster.
a key booster and pay a king's ransom to Mike Woodson and his staff. This is not what they were bargaining for. They thought that Woody could turn this thing around, and it isn't happening. And look, it's not necessarily a reflection on Woody. I think it's a reflection on the players that he has. I mean, look, this team was okay. I mean, they knocked off Purdue, and
they were 16-5 and solidly in the tournament.
Solidly in the tournament, unlike the Colts, 98% chance of making the postseason, right?
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But that game where all those guys got suspended. I don't know. You look at that as the turning point. I do.
I did the post-game show the other night after the game, and Brian Evans was kind enough to be on with us, and JMV. But Brian didn't hold back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he blasted. He's still pissed off about it. And he said, if I had been there, he said, I'd have done something about it if it had been me on my team.
Yeah.
And that just shows you, and I guarantee you that's true. He probably wouldn't have had to do that because I could think of all those guys. Hell, they were all like that. They're all kind of tough guys. Todd Leary, Pat Graham. They're just, you had to be tough. You played for Bob Knight. But they took winning seriously. And when you have, and another thing that made him mad, he mentions that they took two young guys with them. You've got the guy that's supposed to be the leader and all in on this team. And not only do you do what you do, but then you take two freshmen with you on top of that.
Right. Right. The culture is broken, and the culture has been broken for a long, long time.
I don't think Woody realized how badly it was.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that they realized how important and vital the portal was to getting the players they needed, because they really, really misfired with, I'm sorry, but Miller Kopp
can't play.
That has just been awful. I mean, you might as well be out there. There are times I look down at the thing and I'm like, damn, what's he doing? And it's not like he's out there shutting somebody down either.
No,
he's not.
I don't understand why he's been in the starting lineup. I don't understand why he sees any time. I mean, he did hit a few shots against Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, but he's been a cipher most of this year. I hate ripping on college kids, but
me too.
But I'm not ripping on them personally. They all seem like fine human beings, but as basketball players, I mean, when you go to Indiana, you have to expect there's going to be some fair comment, and they're not good enough. They're just not good enough. Xavier Johnson is who we thought he was. Parker Stewart can shoot, but I mean, nothing special. Nothing special.
No, and not only that, none of them have had a big game during this entire time. Just a breakout game. I mean, Kopp's breakout game was against Syracuse, and they still lost.
Right. I mean, nobody's had a fantasy game.
Except Rob Finney, and look what happened.
Right. They won the game with TJD on the bench with foul troubles.